guys, it's Sarah, and we are back today with another episode talking about bariatric success stories. And I have an amazing guest. Her name is Meghan, and I actually don't know much about Meghan's story yet, so you're going to get to learn all about it right along with me. So, Meghan, please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, and what made you decide to get bariatric surgery.
Oh, I'm Megan Richardson. I'm from Columbus. So I had been just kind of progressively having health problems. And so over the years, after I had my second daughter, the weight just kept coming on. And it really didn't seem to matter what I did. It was not leaving, didn't matter how much I exercised, didn't matter what I ate, didn't eat. I was actually like vegan for a while,
Yep.
with no results. And then last fall, I had an accident and I shattered my leg and my ankle.
Oh no.
And so then, of course, I was basically immobilized for months, and then, of course, gained more weight. And I just felt like I wasn't myself anymore. I wasn't happy with myself, and it literally was kind of my last option to say, I have to get the weight off so that I can walk now because of my injury. And so it was just kind of a decision that I needed to make for me, and just something I needed to do.
Great. Thank you for telling us all that. So did your weight start creeping up like right after high school, or did it not happen until you started having kids?
Yes, kind of to both, because I had my first daughter right after high school.
Oh, okay.
So yes, so I had her, and then of course my weight was up, and then I was able to lose the vast majority of that. I was about 25, and I was pretty thin, but I had basically just starved myself and worked out really hard. And so, I was back to, I think I was down to about 155 pounds or so. But then, I got married again, and then kind of just being newly married and adjusting to birth control and all that fun stuff. And that's kind of where it started to get up there again slowly. And then my health problems and PCOS and
oh no. The hormones. The hormones they make it nearly impossible. When you said like you've tried everything and just nothing seemed to work. I mean, first of all, I do know that you're a country girl, and country girls work hard, like nonstop chores. Not only are you a mom with kids, but then the animals, and you live an active outdoor life. And it's like, and you were vegan, and nothing was making that scale go the other direction, it sounds like. And so frustrating.
Very much.
So did you know anybody firsthand that had done the surgery that inspired you to do it, or was it just something that you'd been thinking about for a while and decided to just go on faith on your own?
Actually, I have a friend here in town. She's been friends many, many years, and she had it done, let's see, the summer before. So that would have been 2022. And she was really happy with the results. She lost, I think, in that first year, she lost, I think, 85 pounds.
Wow.
And she just kind of said, hey, I want you to feel good about yourself, and I don't want you to be scared to have this done. And kind of shared with me her experience. And I thought, I think we're there. I think, I don't want to be in my 40s and still struggling with my weight. I want to, I want to be myself again and be there to be with my kids and play with them and go do things and
have energy and not feel self-conscious.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's so cool. So she had a success story and then did you end up going to the same place as her and did she go with you or tell us more?
I did end up going to the same place.
Okay.
No, she did not go with me. My friend Sarah went with me.
Okay.
And as far as, I I wish I had done things a little differently in that department as far as I wish I had maybe talked with you before I
Mhm.
went,
Mhm.
and I probably would not have gone where I
Oh,
went.
really? Okay.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
mind if do you mind telling us more about like unless you feel bad, but do you mind telling us where you went and like the story, like why you feel that way?
Oh, not at all. So I
Okay.
went to Oasis of Hope, which is also in Tijuana.
Okay.
Part of the reason that I went there is because I knew someone that had gone there and it had been successful, and they said they felt comfortable there.
Yeah.
And also, it's one of the few where you don't have like that secondary location where you go to the hotel.
Okay.
That was a little bit of a scary idea for me. I wanted to
Yeah.
be all in one
Right there.
building.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I liked that idea. Um, and then we got there, and I really, really loved my surgeon. I don't have anything negative to say about that part of it.
Good.
And according to my friend, the food was really good. We don't get to eat, so we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. I'm happy for you.
Right? Like, thank you. Yes, go eat somewhere else, right?
Right.
But it was more like the before and after care.
Mhm.
Basically, nothing was explained to me. Like,
Oh.
they came into the room the next morning and said, "Okay, we're going to surgery,"
Mm.
and I'm like, "Okay," And
Yeah.
then after, as I'm like waking up, luckily I had done a lot of research, so I knew that I needed to get up and walk
Yeah.
and that I needed to be really careful about, not trying to drink and eat right away.
Yeah.
But they didn't say anything to me.
I can't even imagine that. Honestly, I can't
Yeah.
imagine like the fact that you motivated yourself to get up and walk around the hospital. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, holy crap, because like that was the last thing I wanted to do after mine. Like they had to practically force us, like come in and they had it on timers. They're like, it's time to walk. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no. You know?
Yeah. And
So
there was none of that. So I had to be responsible for all of that.
wow.
Like my IV bag and my pain meds would go way past, and I would have to walk out there and say, "Hey, you need to change my IV."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. Or like I would really be in a lot of pain,
Mhm.
and Sarah would have to go out and get them and say, "Hey, she needs help or she's
Okay.
sick or whatever." Like she would have to
Wow.
go get
That's
them.
crazy. So you didn't have a call button
Yeah.
either on your bed?
No, no.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I would have to walk out to the nurse's station, and
Mm,
so
okay.
there were some things,
Yeah.
but all in all, I mean the surgery went well.
Okay.
I actually have parts of it on video,
Oh, really?
which,
Oh, that's
yeah, I have a
cool.
picture of my surgeon with my stomach.
Oh, how did you do that? Did you just ask them beforehand to save
No,
it?
he just did it. And then
Oh,
he came
cool.
in before I left and wanted a
Okay.
picture, like a selfie of us together. So I have a selfie of me and the surgeon.
That's
And then he
cool.
showed me the videos of my hiatal hernia repair.
Okay.
Yeah, and the pictures of like them cutting out my stomach and pictures of him holding it.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
if you feel comfortable, I'm still learning how to edit videos, but if you feel comfortable, you should send them to me and I will try to stick them into our video here.
Oh, yeah, I will do my
That'd
best
be fun.
to try and get them. They're all in an email, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. So, but it's kind of graphic. It is literally the inside of my body. So,
Yeah, yeah. Well, and if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine too. But yeah,
oh,
I'll
it's
have
fine
to
with me. It's just, people
if
might
other
be like,
people
I've seen
yeah.
too much.
Well, I'm super curious. I have no idea what my stomach looked like, so, it'd be
Mm,
interesting to see what it actually looks like. Yeah,
yeah.
cool, and, like, how much is there and, yeah, Is it small?
Yeah,
Is it big?
surprisingly large. I mean, it's not anymore, but
Right, right.
yeah.
Oh, and for the record, just so everyone knows, can you tell us what type of surgery you had?
Oh, I had the gastric sleeve.
Okay,
And then while they were in there, they did the hiatal hernia repair
okay.
as well.
So does that mean that you had really bad, like, acid reflux before the surgery? Because you had a
No, that
hernia?
was kind of the weird part. I never had that before. I had no
Oh,
idea that I
hmm,
had the hernia.
hmm,
And so they were going through kind of pre op, asking me those kind of questions about acid reflux or if I felt like I would have something like that. And I didn't.
okay.
So I was really surprised when they found that in there.
Okay. Well, hey, that was a kill two birds with one stone then, huh? They fixed
Yes,
it and you didn't
exactly.
even know. That's great. Um, so my surgery was $5,500 and then I paid an extra 1,000 because I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses and they had to charge extra to make sure that they could do a bloodless surgery just to have all the supplies and
Oh,
equipment on hand.
okay.
So I'm curious, but still at 6,500 to me that was a good deal compared to here in the States. So just for anyone watching that might be interested in going where you went, do you mind sharing about how much it was?
I think it ended up being about 48.
Okay.
There wasn't really like an upcharge for the bloodless. They never said anything like that.
Okay.
I think it was originally supposed to be more around the 42 range,
Okay.
but that was before the hernia repair.
Yeah.
And they said, and I don't exactly understand why, they said I took more medications for inflammation than
Hmm.
most people do.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of a upcharge for that stuff.
Okay. So that's good for people to understand. Like if somebody's on a super tight budget, it sounds like the place you went to is more affordable.
Hmm.
Surprisingly, you were able to be in the hospital the entire time and yet it was still more affordable. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. And you did have a good outcome and everything. It's just, just the experience that you had where you is a good thing you had your friend Sarah there with you, it sounds like,
Yes,
to help a lot.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Did you have after your surgery, did you have like the nausea and the dry heaving and stuff like I had?
Oh yeah. I had the bubbly vomits. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was probably the worst part.
Yeah.
Honestly, that first bit was really rough.
Was Sarah there patting you on the back and helping that feeling go
Yeah,
away?
she was sure trying, and I was just it just is what it is, and she got pretty worried, and I said, no, I did the research. This is
It's,
perfectly normal. I'm
it's normal.
okay. Like,
Yeah. Okay. I remember you told me that after her seeing your experience, she was like, I don't know if I would want to do that.
no,
Is that
it's been a hard no. Yeah.
really? So
Yeah.
that's mainly why just seeing your recovery is what made her feel that way?
I think so. And then even when I was
Okay.
home, man, those first couple weeks, it was
Okay.
really, really rough.
Really?
And yeah, I was not doing well. And so she was kind of like, no, I don't. She's
Okay.
like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I was like, okay.
So I'm gonna stop interrupting your flow with all these questions because now I'm really curious. Like, if for our watchers that are our viewers that have never had it done before, can you explain? Just go through the story with us. How you woke up, how you felt, and a couple weeks after you got home, like what were your struggles?
So I through all my surgeries, and I've had quite a few, I take a really long time to wake up from surgery. They really have to kind of give me some time and really shake me and get me going.
Yeah.
So I was pretty groggy. I was trying to get up and move around. It just takes me a while.
Sure.
Um, then they put me, of course, I'm on pain meds and stuff. So that kind of, I was just not really there for for most of it.
Yeah.
Just trying to get up and walk every 45 minutes and then just trying to keep things down.
Yeah.
And I was getting really sick. And I do wish, I think for you guys at the OCC, if I understand, you get like 4 days. You're there for 4 days. Is that right?
I'm losing track. I think, let's see, I had my surgery. I flew in on a Tuesday, had the surgery Wednesday, and I went home Saturday.
Okay,
So,
yeah. So ours is you go there, then the next day you have the surgery, then you have a day, then you go home the next day.
okay.
It's
So they
pretty
sent you
quick.
home like a day earlier, I
Like a
think.
day early.
Okay.
And I really, for me, needed that extra day. I
Yeah.
was not feeling well. I was still not really keeping anything down.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh gosh, I have to go to the airport and I have to get on the plane.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was pretty intimidating. But Sarah was there and she helped me through. And
Hmm.
we made it home. We made it home at like 3 o'clock in the morning or
Oh,
something.
oh, poor
Um,
thing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
terrible.
And so I was mostly just really tired, and you
Yeah.
have your
Major
liquid diet
concern.
leading up to your
Hmm.
surgery, and then you have basically nothing for like
Another
3 to 5 days because
Yeah.
nothing kind of stays in.
Yeah.
And so I got to like that first week and a half after surgery,
Hmm.
and I had no energy, and I was getting really ashy under my eyes and just kind of
Mm,
hollowing out.
that's
And
scary.
it was really scary. I was feeling really horrible.
Mm.
But luckily, there's a place here in Columbus now that does the IVs,
Oh,
like the
good.
banana
That's
bags
smart.
yeah. And
Mm.
so I just called her and I said, man, I'm feeling really rough.
Mhm.
And so I went in and it's essentially an IV with vitamins.
I'm so happy
And
that you did that. I actually have goosebumps listening to your story right now. Like that sounds bad. Like, when you said you can't keep anything down, or you couldn't, you literally were like throwing up water even, or
yeah,
just okay. Did
yeah.
they
I
not?
mean, I was keeping down watered down juice and like water that I had put electrolytes in.
Okay, okay,
And that was it for about the first week after
okay.
surgery. So
Did they?
yeah,
Did they not tell you to drink like lots of chicken broth and protein powder shakes with electrolytes mixed in?
I was sure trying.
Okay.
I was sure trying and just trying to do, like the little tablespoons at a time. But
Mm-hmm.
that first week, I was just not really holding any of that.
Oh my gosh.
So once I got into my second week, right around
Mm-hmm.
10 days, I started to be able to, do the chicken broth I did bone broth,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
protein powder in it. And then I really started getting going, and then I got the IV, and then everything started to kind of come around. But,
Okay.
that's one of those things I would recommend to people considering the surgery is definitely keep that kind of in the back of your mind if there's somewhere local that will do that because you might need it.
That's a
Um,
great tip.
yeah, and I have continued to go in every. Now I'm out to 6 weeks,
Hmm.
but I continued to go every 3 weeks,
Okay.
until I really started feeling better and until my
Yeah.
blood work was better.
Yeah, very smart. So talk to the pain level. Obviously you had a heart, you were very weak, low energy, couldn't
Mhm.
keep anything down. But what about pain? Did you have surgery, residual pain?
Not really. I mean, any that first day after, yes,
Hmm.
I had some, mostly associated with my drain tube.
Okay.
Um, but by the time I was ready to come home, I was good. I didn't need to take any pain pills or anything for the flight home, and I don't remember taking anything really when I got home either.
Okay.
It just didn't really.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, I'll have to check with my sleep sisters, but I don't remember having a drain tube. Um,
Oh,
and yeah,
really?
yeah, and yeah, I've heard that other people have had them. So, I'm
Yeah.
not really sure why. I need to find more out about that, like what the difference is and how they do the surgery, where we
Yeah.
wouldn't need one. It's pretty interesting. Um, so yes, great tip. Those IV solution places, sounds like really, really helped get your strength back and your vitamin levels and
Yes,
everything what you needed. So all in all, considering the struggle, if you had to do it over again, would you still do it? Are you happy you did it?
absolutely. Yeah.
It,
I
it was
would probably go somewhere else. I would
yeah.
probably go to the OCC.
Hmm.
Like if I were going to go back to Mexico and fingers crossed get a tummy tuck or something,
Right, right.
that is where I would go.
Yeah.
But as far as having the surgery, absolutely yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would have it over and over again if I had to.
Hmm.
Even though I'm not even at my ideal weight yet, just getting me back into the range where I feel like a normal human being again,
Yeah.
has been amazingly helpful for my self-esteem. Because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I didn't feel like myself at all. Like I felt for years like I was. It's funny because in my mind I think of myself as a country girl, an active outdoor person, and yet, in the mirror or to everybody else, I didn't look like that at all, and
Right.
it just was so incongruent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. And two, for me, I'd had to give up quite a lot because my body just couldn't do what I used to do.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really able to ride horses anymore because it just
It's
didn't
harder to
feel
stay on.
yeah, it just didn't feel good and it was hard to get off,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and hard to get on and so I felt like I was losing part of myself in just being
Definitely.
imprisoned in my body.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah, if I could go back in time, I would have gotten mine, boy, a decade earlier or more, because I even sold the horse, the love of my life, my Hollywood.
Oh,
I sold him because I felt like I was too heavy for him,
yeah,
and I probably was, in all honesty, except for short rides or something. But if I would have, if somebody would have just sat me down and said, Sarah, in 4 days, like, Tuesday through Saturday or whatever, you could change all this around, and within a few months you could be riding your horse again. I would
yeah,
have done it. I would have done it. And
right,
nobody, I don't know, I guess people are too scared to approach a overweight person to have that conversation. But
yeah,
now when I see people that are overweight, I I wish that I could reach them and let them know it's so worth it. You'll have your hobbies
yeah,
back. You'll have your life back. You don't have to sell your beloved horse, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, the things that we give up, and then also the stubbornness. I know for myself, I was just so stubborn. I want to try this still. I want to try that still. I just really felt like I should be able to solve it on my own.
yeah,
Did you have that
yeah.
same?
Well, for me, it was more just I really was kind of scared of the idea and also didn't think I could afford it. I didn't know that I could go to Mexico and just have
Yeah.
it done. And I think to a lot of people, and maybe even to you before you had it done, it seems like this radical idea, like like it's this big extreme
Yeah.
thing. And now that I've gone and done it, it was like, oh, no big deal. But on the other side of that, you and I are both kind of seasoned travelers.
Yeah.
So we don't care to go to Mexico. We're like, no big deal. Hop on a plane, get it done.
Yeah.
So I think that might be part of it too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I love that you brought up the extreme, oh, it's so extreme to do that. Well, I was getting to the point, this is so embarrassing to admit, but I remember I was getting to the point where getting up off the ground or every time I would just, even on the couch, if I'd stand up, my knee was hurting. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh crap. Like if my knee is starting to go out on me because of my weight, then there's going to be a surgery right there too. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, what's more extreme? Having high blood pressure, sleep apnea, just comorbidities that come, pre-diabetic, all these things, or having the surgery, which is more extreme? Well,
Exactly.
it's obvious
Exactly.
answer, right?
Yeah.
I'd much rather
Yeah.
get rid of all those diseases or pre-diseases and
Yeah.
keep my own joints than to,
Yep.
be stubborn about it. So,
And that makes me, talking about getting up off the ground makes me think of one of the non-scale victories for this week. I've been working on my car, on my Blazer,
cool.
and was like up under it, changing the oil and doing all this stuff. And I must have gotten up and off of the ground and out from under the car, I don't know, probably 15 times on Saturday. I didn't even think about it. I was
Yeah.
just like up and down and up and down. And I was, whereas before, I don't know, I could have maybe done it once. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been
It,
like, forget it, take it to the
that
mechanic. I don't care.
that is so cool. You have so much to be proud of there. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing. My stamina, I mean, I don't get winded like I used to at all. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing having the energy
Yeah.
back. So how far out are you from your surgery, and approximately how much have you lost, and how much more do you have to go?
I am almost 5 months out. So
Okay.
on the 8th of February will be my 5 month mark.
Okay.
As of this morning, I have lost 63 pounds.
That is
Um,
amazing.
I'm very excited about it. My goal was I turned 38 in December, and my goal
Mhm.
was I want to be halfway to my goal weight. I want to lose 50 pounds by that date. And I nailed it. And so I was very happy.
Yes.
I am right now at the weight that my doctor set for me.
Oh, good.
Um, and I don't necessarily agree with her assessment. I would like to
Sure.
lose at least another 30 pounds.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Um, you're right. So she's
Sound
like, you're within a healthy range. And I'm like, let's keep going for a minute. So,
Heck yeah. Heck
yeah.
yeah, you can. Have you felt like it's been pretty effortless for you, or have you still felt like, well, for lack of a better term, that you've still been having to diet? You know what I mean? Or has your range of foods and options completely opened up and you're still going down, or is it pretty reined in order to keep the scale moving?
I'm pretty, my stomach keeps me pretty restricted on what I can eat. There's
Mhm.
still a lot that it does not like.
Oh, okay.
So I am still very much basically protein based is where I'm at. I eat a whole lot of chicken and shrimp,
Mhm.
and I don't I it does not tolerate sugar at
Mhm.
all. It does not tolerate any sort of raw vegetables,
Yeah.
fruit,
Yeah.
nothing like that. So I think that
Ah,
that has been a big part of why I have lost so much. Is it
yeah.
just kind of is like, oh, you think you're going to eat red meat? No, you're
Oh,
not.
no, you're not.
No, you're not. And I've been really good. Like I said, I really did a lot of research ahead of time. So I knew, okay,
Yeah.
these need to be, I need to prioritize protein every
Yeah.
time. And I need to make sure I'm drinking enough water.
Yeah.
And so just kind of knowing what I was in for ahead of
Yeah.
time, I think helped out a lot.
That's cool. Are you able to have any dairy? Can you stomach that, like cheese or
Yeah. Yeah,
cream or
I do
whatever?
quite a bit of like cottage cheese, and
Yeah.
like I can do nuts like cashews and
Oh, good.
almonds.
Good.
Um, but yeah, basically if it's cooked vegetables, I do okay with. Can't do
Mhm.
cauliflower. There's
Yeah.
certain things like that. But I stick with my proteins and I do really well. And the nice part is I don't have any cravings.
That's
So
amazing.
I get hungry and I go,
Yeah.
oh, I need to eat because I'm hungry, but
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to have sugar or, the things that I had before.
That's
So,
really great. So then I would imagine then that your scale has been just consistently going down every single week.
yep,
Okay, that's cool. Um, that's wonderful. Yeah, I do know I need to rein it in because I guess I'm fortunate on one hand because I can eat anything I want. Of course, if it's like really processed, I do feel sick.
Mhm.
But like some people told me before their surgery, they would eat this kind of food, and then after surgery, their stomach was like, no way, like what you just expressed. And I haven't had that with anything. I can eat anything I want as
Oh,
long
that's
as it's
nice.
just a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, but that's been bad too. Sorry, the kitty hair's floating around like in every video I see now. I saw the kitty hair on me. Anyway, but uh, what was I saying? Um, oh yeah. So the cravings for me are there, which
Mm.
stinks because once you reintroduce them, then you're kind of want it again.
Yeah.
So for that scale to keep going down, 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 I think I'm gonna have to like really buckle it in, and do what you're talking about, like just really, really cut the sweet and the carbs out. So,
Yeah.
but it's
And I
worth it
do,
still.
yeah, I mean, I do have a little bit of carbs. Like I like rice. Rice
Mhm.
does really well with me. I'll have
Good.
like a half a piece of toast with my eggs or
Oh,
whatever
good.
because
Okay.
I know for my body, I've done the low carb thing, I've done all that. I know for
Yeah.
my body, I need a certain amount of carbs to have energy.
Yeah.
So I do have a little bit of that every week, but mostly, yeah, it. Sometimes I'm sad and I want to eat, and my stomach says no.
Oh, no.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, well, on that level, it's really doing a good job then, retraining, right? So when you're emotional or sad, food is no longer the solution.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Which is, and that's probably the other reason why I'm really glad I had the surgery when I did,
Mhm.
because my oldest daughter just moved out the end
Oh.
of December, and she now lives, like 5 hours away.
Oh, no.
And
That's hard.
so, you know, normally
Wow.
I would just eat all of those feelings, and now I just have to
Yeah.
feel that. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So,
Dang
but
it.
I'm glad I had the surgery because it literally, I had some time to
Mhm.
retrain the way that I deal with things. And uh,
Yeah, no,
it's it's a
that's a great
process.
example, and there was a point where I almost was feeling like backing out after I had scheduled my surgery, especially when you have to lose a certain amount of pounds before the surgery. I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
I don't need to have the surgery because I'm successfully losing weight pre-surgery.
Mm,
And then that's what made me follow through. I was thinking, okay, so what's going to keep me in the future, from putting on the weight in a massive way,
yeah.
first sign of trouble in my life where I get really emotional or somebody dies or something like that. And I thought,
Yeah.
well, at least the surgery will put a belt on it and not let me go out of control. You can
Right.
only eat so much. So
Right. You're
slow the
like, even
down.
when you're sad, it's still only two chips. Like, right.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Have you found that even though you can't eat a lot at one sitting, have you found that you eat a lot more frequently throughout the day?
I absolutely do. I've never been much of a breakfast person.
Hmm.
So I have my protein coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I eat about every, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours kind of after that.
Hmm.
And so one of the things that I had heard a lot of bariatric patients say is that they get really frustrated when they just have like that last bite, you just have that little bit left
Yeah.
and you feel like you should eat it, but not to overstuff yourself.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of am like, oh, I'm just going to put it on the counter and in 2 hours, I'll eat it. Like,
That's great.
just
Yeah.
don't worry about it, like,
Yeah. It's not being
and
wasted. You
you're
can
full,
go
you're
back
full.
and finish it.
Right, right.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So, variety. I mean, it sounds like you're doing just a lot of protein on rotation. Is that pretty much it? Or, I mean, just paint a picture for some people that are wondering what you eat.
Um, So, like I said, I have my protein coffee in the morning, and oftentimes I'll have like those P3 packets
Oh
for
yeah, yeah.
lunch if I'm at
Is that a
work or,
peanut butter packet? Is that what you mean? P3?
it's like I think I get the one that has the turkey ham and cheese, or sometimes they have almonds in them.
Okay. I guess I don't know
Um,
what it is.
or I'll take like the high protein yogurt with some keto granola and some peaches.
Mm.
And then a couple hours later, I'll have like leftovers from the night before. Like last night, I made chicken lasagna with the chickpea pasta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so basically I'll heat up that little bowl and I'll eat dinner at, 6, and then if I'm hungry again at 8,
Mhm.
I'll heat it up and eat a little bit more.
Okay.
Um and I'll, just really the other nice thing is that my meals are really simple now because
Mhm.
it's just protein and a little bit of veg. I mean, a little bit of fruits. It's just like
Yeah.
so
Well,
simple.
that makes it feel better that you can have like a little bit of fruit, like the peaches with cottage cheese and stuff like that. That's probably like a dessert in a way.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, good. Um, what else? Energy level. Have you started exercising, lifting weights, or anything like that?
I kind of started off a little bit slower on that than maybe some people do. Part of that being just my leg,
Yeah,
still kind of healing. I'm not
and
great
it's winter
about the
time.
walking. Well, that too. Yeah, nobody's going to go out there when it's 35 below. I'm sorry,
No,
I'm not that type. I'm just not.
hell no. Yeah.
So then in December, I started a new job, and
Mm.
my new job, we have a full gym.
Oh, cool.
So we have like a lap pool and a hot
Whoa,
tub and just all the equipment I could possibly ever need. So I'm starting off kind of just kind of slow and easy and more just trying to tone and rehabilitate.
that's great.
So I do a little bit of weightlifting,
Mhm.
and squats with the kettlebell, and we have a row machine,
Oh,
and I
cool.
love the row machine.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah.
uncoordinated. The row machine's hard for me to get the motion right, but yeah, I've heard it's like one of the best all full body workouts you can do.
Oh, absolutely. I don't remember exactly the percentage, but it's somewhere in the 90 something percent of your skeletal muscle that you use when you're rowing.
That's awesome.
So I mean, I can do like 5 minutes on the row machine,
Yeah.
and I feel it like
That's so
a
cool.
lot the next day without having to spend a lot of time,
Nice.
so just stuff
So
like that.
is that right there in Columbus? You don't have to travel too far for it?
It's at my work. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
can I can
locally.
say, my brain's on overload, take a 5 minute break, go walk around the gym or
Nice.
row for a little bit and then go back to work. And
Oh,
it's
I love
great.
that. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good. Nice little perk there and a jacuzzi for later. That's
Yeah, exactly.
that's so great. Um, well, very cool. Oh, another question. Did you go through a phase where your hair thinned out or you lost hair?
I am there right now.
Are you?
Yeah, where
Okay.
it's just kind of like, it is what it is. I knew it was coming, and so I kind of did what I could. Like I got the rosemary shampoo and the rosemary scalp oil,
Yeah.
and tried to prevent. And I make sure I take my vitamins and my biotin and my collagen. And
Yeah. So you're prepared. Okay,
oh
that's good.
no,
I don't remember being forewarned about that, and I didn't know about it. So when it hit me, I was like freaking out. But it has stopped falling out now. And like last
oh
night,
good.
I had a ponytail on, and I went to meeting, and I had like my hair was back, and I had like this little piece, like a chunk like this, just
Oh,
sticking up. And I kept trying to
it's
push it down. Yeah, it's baby hair coming back.
okay. That gives me hope because I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my god, pretty soon I'm gonna look like my husband. Like, I
I know.
know exactly.
I know. No, it's a horrible phase, but thankfully it does come back, and you're
Yeah,
doing the
good.
best thing with, keeping the protein there, and those
Yeah.
IV infusions, I'm sure really helps that too. Oh,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
biotin. Yeah.
That was the other really interesting thing I learned from the wellness lady that does my injections.
Mhm.
She gave me a wonderful tip that when you get your blood work done, if your iron is less than 75, I think it's milligrams, micrograms, something like
Mhm.
that, that is why we're losing our hair.
Oh, okay.
So if
Well, that's
we
good.
can, and she said that the gummies iron
Mhm.
is the most bioavailable for our bodies.
That's surprising.
I agree. They taste
Oh, do they? Okay,
they're really
okay.
bad.
Oh.
So I am going to finish those ones up, and then the Mary Ruth Organics makes a liquid iron that I'm
Okay.
going to try
Okay.
and see
And I
if
would
that works.
it seems like beef has a lot of iron, maybe chicken doesn't, so maybe like lean in on the red meats also.
And that's the other trouble is my stomach does not tolerate any of that. No pork, no beef, no
Oh,
elk. That is
what?
devastating.
That is
I got a whole
devastating.
freezer full of elk that I can't eat.
Really?
Yeah, so
You
yeah.
literally like you can't stomach it. You throw it back up, or you just are like you get
I
sick.
don't throw it back up, but it basically sits right here and
Hmm.
refuses to move down. And it just kind
Wow.
of hurts for quite a while.
Oh, that's
And
terrible.
I'm like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So hopefully that will get better. But
I'm definitely fortunate then because I remember my sister really telling me that even well, I don't even know how many years out she is, over a decade now from her surgery, and she said she still has a hard time eating steak. Not me. I can
uh,
totally down a steak. That's crazy.
oh,
So,
I
yeah.
wish. Oh man, yes, that sounds delicious.
Yeah. Dang. Well, thank you for the tip though on the liquid iron. That's great.
Yeah.
For anyone watching, they should go stock up on that then and maybe even take it before they start losing their hair so that it's a preventative.
Yeah, probably at like maybe month 2 or something when you are starting to be able to take your vitamins and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I had known that a little bit sooner. But
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, can you think of anything that we haven't talked about that maybe that we should?
gosh, I can't really think of anything. I think
Nope.
I think you doing these interviews is really going to encourage a lot of people. I know
Yeah.
I have learned a lot from watching the
Have you?
interviews you've done with other people. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And us chatting kind of,
Yeah.
like when I was kind of going through it and feeling really nervous and, your
Yeah.
success story, I really
Yeah.
hope it reaches a lot of people and helps them.
No, thank you. I'm really also impressed that you were willing to do the interview without even hesitation because a lot of people are closet bariatric patients. Like you're like, wow, she
Oh,
looks great, and you would never know that she had the surgery because she's never told anybody, you know. So hats off to you for being brave,
yeah,
and just wanting to help people and not being ashamed of it because really, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You don't get people don't get embarrassed if they have some other type of surgery, right?
right,
So we shouldn't have to feel embarrassed over this either.
right,
And
right.
if you or me would have seen a video like this maybe a decade ago, maybe it would have helped us get our lives back sooner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's really, and I think about, I kind of first saw it really on TikTok. There are so many people that are on there now, kind of encouraging, and that's where I get a lot of the tips.
that's
A
cool.
lot of those things that I was like, oh, I really think that I could do this, and so hopefully it just encourages a lot of people to make decisions for them for their own health and not
Yeah,
really worry about what other people think about it.
yeah, yeah,
Hopefully.
definitely, yeah. um well, I've thoroughly enjoyed this interview with you. Thank you so much for sharing all of your tips and your story. And if anybody has any questions for you in particular, if they reach out to me, do you mind if I pass them along to you?
Oh, that would be fine. Yeah, that would be
Okay.
great.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I'll let you have your evening back. Thank you so much, Megan, again. And until next time,
Okay, thanks.
bye.